Alright, so in today's discussion, I will give you a brief introduction of drawings in WPF. So, drawings are used to efficiently draw shapes, bitmaps, texts, and media, etc. It describes the visible content of the underlying graphics, right? So, it can be noted here that WPF has some other capabilities to draw shapes and bitmaps, text, and media, right? As I have shown you in my previous video, we have a path shape which can be used to efficiently draw geometries. Okay, so in path, we can under path.geometries we can specify any geometry that we wish and that gets drawn. However, here we will see that using drawing also we can draw geometries. So as we were discussing, there are other ways to do things like to draw shapes, bitmaps, text. Then why shall we use uh, drawings? So drawing offers certain improvement over the other options. Now these drawing objects are not derived directly from framework elements, and that's why it lacks certain capabilities. It cannot participate in layouts, it cannot get the focus, or it cannot get the inputs from windows, etc. And precisely this is why it gives the performance edge, and that's why these drawings can be used to draw backgrounds, cliparts, etc., where you do not need to interact. Once you have finalized your drawing, then you can freeze it and then use it. So once you uh, use the freezing capability, so the performance gets further improved. Right, so this is how and why we should use drawings. Now primarily there are five types of drawings, and the basic one is geometry drawing, and then as the name suggests, this drawing actually renders a geometry. All right, so let's get down to the coding aspect and then let's see directly here how to use this geometry drawing. So here as you can see, I have a grid, and on that grid I have a canvas. So I have used a checkered background to fill this canvas so that we can clearly understand what's going on, which all region are getting transparent and which all regions are opaque, etc. So this is a basic drawing setup. All right, now let's use image control here, and then in its image source we can specify drawing image. Within this drawing image we can have one drawing, and here we can have this geometric drawing, and in this geometric drawing we can specify any geometries. Right, so let's specify an elementary geometry like ellipse geometry. Here and specify the radius x as 100 and then radius y as 80, and then center at 50, 50. Right, this is my geometry. Now using this geometry we are going to draw this. I mean, this geometry drawing will get painted. However, nothing is getting printed on screen because we have not specified the brush. Alright, let's have a red brush, and let's have it also pen defined. In this pen, let's say, alright, um, let's use blue, let's use 2. Alright, now as we can see here, this is the underlying geometry. This is the elementary geometry, and using this geometry we are getting a drawing which is getting printed by this image control. Now let's use a more complex geometry which can be defined by geometry group. Now let's have two ellipses there. So the center, let's say it's 150-50, and then let's have one more rectangle with rectangle 0, 50, and then 100, 100. Alright, let's make this 200, 200, or maybe 0, 0. Yeah. Now this is a complex geometry, and again this geometry is getting printed by this drawing object, and this drawing object is getting rendered by this image control, right? Now this is a geometry drawing. Let's define image drawing. How about this? Alright, image drawing. Now let's say image source is, I have a picture in my pics folder, so I know that, and let's say rect is 0, 0, 150, 150. Oh, we need to expand the image. Let's say width is 400 and then height is 300. Okay, maybe 400 looks better. So this is how you render an image. So using this image, we are creating an image drawing, and this image drawing is getting rendered by this image. So this is how the drawings are rendered. Now what could be the other use of this drawing? Drawings can be used to create a brush, right? So now let's define one ellipse shape. Now let's say width is 250 and then height is also say 150. Now the fill property accepts a brush. Now we will supply a drawing brush. Alright. This drawing brush, the underlying drawing of this drawing brush would be this one, image drawing, right? Let's do it this way. I will get rid of this, and as you can see, we have an ellipse which is filled with bitmap drawing, right? So this is how we can use drawings efficiently. Similarly, we can have rectangles or any controls, so we can define this drawing as a resource of Windows, and then use this resource as a static resource to fill all the UI elements or shapes, or we are only limited by our own imaginations there, right? Alright, so that was it for today's discussion. Thanks for watching.